Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Star Trek Reliant, the game where we play Star Trek adventures in the Star Trek Online setting and have fun with missions inspired in large part by the Star Trek Online Foundry, whose actually anniversary for sunsetting is coming up in a few days here, actually. So, rip to that. Tardigrade's hugs for that. I might be doing something a little bit not super special, but just a little bit of something to commemorate this year. But at any rate, apart from that rambling, welcome. Tonight we've got our usual cast of characters, minus Victor Waitley, so let me get through the introductions here. So starting off with our security officer, Chorog.
Remember, kids, licking doorknobs on other planets is illegal.
Mostly. Then we've got our science officer, D.B. Wells.
A space wizard arrives neither early nor late. He arrives exactly where he's not allowed to be.
We've got our other science officer, Garal.
Hey, that wizard came from the moon!
We've got our con officer, Karjun Roddy.
Played as usual by Geraldine Blackwell. And tonight, for our audience, I've got a Reliant top tip. Anytime you put your cell phone down, put it screen down on whatever it's facing so that you don't drop something on the screen and break it like I did today.
And we've got our CMO and EXO, Eli O'Connor.
I'm all about wizards, space wizards, but why is that one in a blue box?
And we've got our rhyming chief engineer, Rick Thier.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of trying to rap with that introduction, but then I went, nah.
That's the impulse with rap. It's like, oh, I can do it. And it's like, no, I can't do it. This is an art form. It is difficult to imitate. Well. Alrighty then. So, on tonight's adventure, we continue off with our primary crew still at the village of Sariat Run on the planet of Trident, particularly Trident Alpha, the planetary system locked in a artificial subspace domain. Our first crew is still exploring the temple and surrounding area in the village, while our B crew is at the village of Vorty, the village of Vorty, some distance away. So, let's go ahead and get started with our, our first group, and particularly where we left off, with Daniel, who entered an alien temple, decided to walk directly towards the open door with a spiral staircase down into the catacombs, beelining past everything else in that building, and deciding to strike a conversation with a mysterious-looking alien monk, who I will picture for the group here, and on video podcast form when I eventually get around to this. We'll also be posting a screenshot of this character as well, so bonus points for watching this on YouTube after several weeks' delay.
But yeah, just walking past all the obvious interactable things in an RPG, like you do.
It's like, oh, wait, the main mission path leads this way. I found it. I sense an objective marker.
Can't go that direction. That direction is forward.
Just a sec. There we go. So, you've got your alien monk who was just basically, I can't remember the exact wording, but basically has asked you to, consider the path you've chosen in questioning him. You are again in a kind of a dark catacomb with a variety of shelves and books and some potential computer-y looking devices and crystal rods that seem to hold some kind of other recorded media. It's not quite a mess, but of course it looks fairly ancient. And here's someone who's looking unamused and is looking to be highly official. What do you say, Daniel?
Well, I'm sure everyone could use some guidance, like you recommended, but I mean, I just don't know where to start. I mean, there's a lot going on here.
Are you that unprepared?
Oh, well, I try to be. It's why I wear this thing everywhere. And Daniel, kind of like pats the chest of the suit he's wearing.
Curious. Do you anticipate encountering much vacuum on terrestrial worlds?
Daniel just flips the visor closed again.
I see. Well, I can say that you're in a place of some knowledge, which may be beneficial, but the question remains, where do we start? Do you know how to bathe yourself, for example? Eat. These are pertinent questions.
Yes? Daniel just sounds kind of unsure because wasn't expecting questions like that.
How are you with mathematics?
Pretty good, I like to think. Are these questions really that important?
We must establish a baseline for effective communication. The alien's black eyes seem to blink, but you're not sure.
Wait. Let's back up a little here. What's actually down here? Because I just kind of wandered in.
Yeah, so you basically are in what looks like an archive. So there seems to be a lot of oral library. So a lot of basically books, tomes, scrolls, sci-fi scrolls.
I was saying that in character.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So the monk-looking figure says, "This is an repository for the temple here. This is a temple to the First World. It contains relevant information about the First World and its histories. We support the common histories."
That actually sounds like something that could be good to know.
How much time do you have to
me
seek
and my
this
friends
knowledge?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
How much time do you have to absorb this knowledge? It is quite considerable here. There are levels below this one.
And then as he mentions that, Daniel kind of like looks around and notices a similar-looking staircase to the one he previously went down in a corner.
Do you go down that one? I would say it's not advisable, but I did want to just make sure you're presented with that option.
Hey, it's the GM's responsibility to give the player enough rope to hang themselves with.
Yes.
I guess Daniel looks around a bit and says, "Well, I guess the best place to start with anything is from the beginning."
Right. The beginning of Trident, the beginning of Sariat Run, the beginning of your culture? Do you know that? It looks somewhat uncertain.
Let's start with the planet, I guess. This one.
So, I'm going to have you do a presence command check.
Okay.
You're attempting to appear to be a somewhat hapless scientist who it is perfectly fine to share information with.
My two of my lowest scores.
As is often the case.
I was about to say, DB just gives off this aura of, like, suspiciousness.
0 successes. No complication.
Excellent way for starting off the evening. The witness shakes their head and says, "I do not believe you have the stability to handle the deeper knowledge. We shall start from the top. You are a humanoid. Humanoids are many and various. You will encounter many on your travels here. You should not bite them. Biting is not an approved form of communication. You should also take care with your waste. species are very sensitive to this topic. And he's just proceeding to list off a lot of banal information. It's just sort of in a shifted tone that basically seems like it's almost running through a pre-recorded script.
I guess Daniel
Ask
just
before
kind
you
of
eat
stands
something.
there and Daniel just kind of stands there and listens for a minute, just kind of wondering why anyone would need to have this speech just at the ready, and then just holds up a hand to interrupt and says, I'm sorry, how old do you think I am?"
So as you say that, I will cut over to the rest of the crew that's around Sariat Run. So people basically had dispersed a little bit last we checked in. So by this point, folks can kind of be where they want to. So it's a review for what's available in the area. We've got the marketplace. We checked that out last time. It's got various and many things, maybe additional NPCs if you guys want to explore around that area. We've got the docks and the fishing area and a little bit of aquaculture going on that way. We've also got the Traveler House that a couple people stopped at. We have the Longhouse, which has more of the civic place of governance, and then we've got the large temple with a double helical spiral.
Daniel is currently down inside the temple. A variety of the party, including Chorog and Eli, and I think some others, are at the Traveler's House.
I think Eli actually went looking for Setsa.
Yeah, that was at the real. There was a realization at the end that only a couple of people went to the Traveler's House, and yeah, folks like Setsa have gone missing. So yeah, it's basically, and just with a little bit of time passing with Daniel's adventure there, folks can kind of be wherever they want to right now.
Okay, so Rick here, after he did his own little vanishing trick, is just standing at the door of the temple, just sort of gazing at it for a moment, taking it all in before stepping in and seeing what is in the main sort of foyer area.
Goro is, having finished his dancing with friend, is going to head over to investigate the temple as well.
What is Chorog up to?
Charog is still at the bar. He entertained the idea of fighting one of the Yizzle, but then thought better of the idea, and is currently trying to find his way to the fishing area.
All right, I'm just getting something prepped up here. Let's see. Chorog. Yeah. You notice Setsa poking at what appears to be a large clamshell.
Setsa, I wouldn't do that.
Setsa looks over and says,
Well, it's dead, so I think this will be fine. But yeah, it looks pretty terrestrial, even more so than some of the EV analogs we've got here. I mean, it's definitely not a Rokonk, so yeah, could be some convergence going on, or maybe cross pollination. It's a cool find. Fishman said, yeah, I could book it.
And just because it looks dead doesn't mean it actually is. I mean, if you want to get eaten by that thing, go ahead, poke it.
Clams are generally filter feeders.
This is an alien clam. We don't know if this thing's carnivorous or not.
all right, Setsa's going to do a science roll. Setsa takes a brief scan and says,
Yeah, it's definitely dead. And the algae on top isn't dead, but the clam itself is, and it's apparently been dead for a while. Yeah, I just probably don't want to poke it too hard because it could, cause it to open up and release a lot of stinky. So, yeah. But anyway, what brings you down here?
Well, I thought I'd try out some of the local fishing. Haven't done that in a while.
Oh, cool. The aliens over there, those two. They seem to be the ones who are kind of in charge. You might want to go ahead and ask them if you can take part. I'm sure they'll say yes. They've been very welcoming so far.
The clam rustles.
Setsa looks at the clam. A little bit of an eep.
It rustles a bit more.
Setsa pokes the clam with her stick.
It opens up, and Pym sits up from inside the clam, giving a loud yawn and stretching. Hey, who? I was napping here.
That's a eeps and jumps back some more and says,
What are you doing inside the clam, and why didn't the tricorder pick you up?
I don't know, and taking a nap.
Is this common?
You get sleep where you can find it on Alpha.
Right, so, huh?
Right then.
You appear to have broken Setsa.
Pym hops out of the clam. Right, so we've got business to attend to, I think. Do we?
Well, everyone kind of dispersed, so I'm doing science.
Okay.
I'm just looking where the fishing is. I'm trying to find where I can buy a fishing gauntlet.
Fishing gauntlet? Usually we use spears around here. Or, rods with hooks on them.
Well, that's basically what a Klingon fishing gauntlet is. It has 2 large spikes on it.
Okay. I don't know if we got one of those around here, but I can show you to the local fishing shop, the bait shop.
Oh, yes, please. I'd like to see what kind of fishing implements I can buy.
Okay, right, this way. And Pym starts to walk off, not even closing the clam behind him or giving it a second look.
Setsa eyes the clam.
It's empty.
And climb. She steps in.
You're in an empty clam. It is open.
She closes it.
You are inside a clam. It is dark.
Setsa opens the clam again.
You are inside an open clam. It is no longer dark.
Setsa steps out of the clam.
You are no longer in a clam.
Setsa has not resolved her confusion.
Meanwhile, Pym leads Chorog down to what could be a bait shop on any level of different planets, filled with fishing rods, fishing spears, fishing gear of stranger and unimaginable uses, and a lot of bait, from small fishes to worms to some sort of horrible goop.
Trog is interested in the horrible goop.
Pym walks over. Ah, yes. This makes very good bait. Smells really bad. Fish love it.
I wonder if I can mix some of my venom in that to really attract the fish.
I don't know. Try it. Well, buy some first.
How much for a bucket of this stuff?
The, alien behind the counter says a few things, and then Pym says, I got it. He goes over to pay the alien.
No, you just dump this stuff in the water and wait for the fish to come out, or?
Well, it's semi-solid. Usually you can just scrape a bit of it on a hook. I suppose if you wanted to chum the water with it, what you get is probably a feeding frenzy.
Chorog looks around. There, that looks like a rather interesting-looking fishing spear. I'll take that one.
Pym pays for that, too, and just nods to Chorog. Chorog now has a bucket of goop and a fishing spear.
Well, time to go have some fun. Chorog takes the bucket of goop and the fishing spear and heads to an unoccupied part of the dock.
Pym walks along, going to grab Setsa first. He simply says to her, this ought to be good. And for your fishing attempt, fishing roll. Well, you're using a spear, so let's go ahead and try security daring.
Okay.
Oh, and how are you using the bucket of chum? Are you just dumping that in there and going for fish?
And here is, I know the viewers can't see it right now, but I linked a picture of what the fishing spear would look like. Trog takes the blade part of the spear, dunks it into the goop, pulls a flask of venom from his coat pocket, pours it into the goop, mixes it up a little bit, and then takes the spear and dangles it over the water.
Some very strange alien fish and a squid-like thing all come up to investigate the spear that has been placed in the water. You also note some rumbling across the bottom of the bottom of the area below the docks. Like something else is moving down there.
Yeah,
something big.
And what was that roll?
Security daring.
Security daring. Okay, let's see. Trog eyeballs the large squid. That's it. Come to Papa, and thrust the spear into the squid.
You get the squid as well as another fish that was close by it at the time. A 2-for-1 special.
Trog yanks the spear out of the water with the dangly squid and the fish, and shouts, "Come on!"
Pim applauds and says, "Okay, I'll admit, not bad."
Trog does hear the rumbling under the pier. Seems like I have something else's attention down there.
Oh yeah,
That's a
this is
scans.
this is Sariat Run. You can't go 'em. It's just the oysters. Don't worry about them. They're mostly harmless.
Mostly?
Oysters.
Well, it depends. Sometimes during the migration season they get a little bitey and poisony.
I don't like either of those, so mind if I stand over there?
What, over next to where that loose board is?
Where, okay, so I stand here.
Best just to stand next to me, probably.
Okay, I shall do that.
Now, Trog has an idea about these clams. He could take care of the problem the easy way, or he can take his time and be slow about it.
Don't provoke the clams.
Pim tuts. Oysters.
Oysters, clams.
You've always been bivalve things.
Oysters, clams is glop on a half shell.
Okay, I can't argue with that.
So I can lure these things out and pull them out one by one, or I could just take care of a lot of them real quick, real dirty.
I don't know how you would get them all at once. But with that hook that hook part on the spear, you could probably yank them out pretty easy. One by one, anyway, or two by two, something like that.
Sharab then pulls out a rather large photon grenade from under his coat. This is the easy way.
You know
not
what?
On a rickety deer, no.
I think it's better if I stand over there. And Pim turns and runs.
Setsa looks around and says,
Chorog, this is infrastructure that the locals need. Do not blow it up.
Well, I'm not going to blow up the pier. I'm going to chuck the thing in the water and there's just going to be a lot of water and clam parts everywhere.
When an explosion underwater allows the force of the explosion to transmit into things in a much more efficient way. If they're under the pier, and you put a photon grenade under the pier, you will blow up the pier.
All right, I'll just yank them out the hard way.
Yeah, perfect. The locals will be impressed. They will not be impressed if we blow ourselves up.
Another daring security.
I'm going to have Setsa assist. She did not run, so her natural inclination.
It was really
her natural inclination,
but it didn't happen.
Okay, so Setsa's going to help. I'm going to spend 3 threat for her helping, despite her better judgment.
Very good.
Okay, so for her, daring security, 9. Doot. Dang it, 1 success.
You actually make very good time. Using the goop and the venom, you just kind of pull, oyster after oyster out of the sea. They're these little spiral-shelled kind of monstrosities. It looks like they have kind of little tentacle feet on the bottom where they could kind of move along on these pseudopods. But after they get yanked out by Chorog, they seem dazed and drunk. And they just kind of sit where he puts them. You've got a pretty good pile going after a couple of minutes.
Oh, I'm going to have to clean these things out, and I may make some lunch.
What about making money? You probably need some.
We could do that. So I'm going to take this pile over there, and I'm going to start cleaning out. Maybe I could sell some of these things.
Right. That'll be good. Make some nice inroads with the locals, and chat with local fishermen. Find out if there's any, security complications and any other, bits of natural wildlife we need to be concerned about if we move inland.
At about this time, I don't know who else is in there, but Pim runs into the temple out of breath and just kind of stops, hands on his knees, trying to catch his breath.
So he will run past Rick Tier at least, so Rick Tier might have some incentive to walk into the temple and find out what's wrong. Other characters who have seen Pim run into the temple may also be inclined to go into the temple.
Rick has actually already entered. He was just standing out, then moved in.
Goro has also entered the temple, trying to look at anything interesting.
Victor Waitley.
Yes.
Has he entered the temple?
I suppose so.
Okay, so Victor Waitley is also there. Eli.
Eli was out looking for Setsa, so I'm probably not near the temple.
Okay, so Waitley, Grawl, and Ricktier have entered the temple.
And Pim.
Inside. Oh, and Pim. So you are free to question Pim first.
What's
Okay.
gets you in a whatever it is you have?
He stands up straight, slowly. Nothing about explosives in the dock and strange migrations of shellfish, and nothing about this being the strongest building in the town. Nope, it's all fine.
One of the nearby priests just looks over to Pim, notices it's Pim, and then goes back to what they were doing before.
Right, so come in search of knowledge, have you?
Well, yes, might as well get a start on seeing what's around, what's going on. What's this thing? And he points, and he points to that giant thing in the middle of the room, whatever that was.
So, in the middle of the room, there appears to be some kind of, gray, possibly a little bit of pearlescent, humanoid figure in sort of a resting pose, around which is coiled, something that appears to have been part of the statuary, but moves and sort of shifts in its coiling. And that's all you can see from this distance.
Tell you what, it doesn't look like a problem. Let's go over there.
Rick will pull out his tricorder surreptitiously and try and do a scan of it.
Let's get a control engineering, please.
Need to double check the stats. There we are.
All right. What your tricorder picks up is the statuary in the center is not an actual statue. It appears to be a highly complex yet dormant synthetic humanoid. Species unknown. What's wrapped around it, is currently looking at you, is, you can kind of get a bit of a life sign, kind of get a bit of an energy reading, but it is just bizarre, constantly fluctuating. It appears to be spoofing your tricorder. I mean, it's alive, it's animate, could be synthetic, but you have no idea what this thing is.
Yes, so it looks possibly like artificial life.
The entity in question kind of appears up a little bit more, and you can kind of take in a little bit more of its form.
Meanwhile, Pim just kind of steps up and says, "Yep, that's a statue." And then he looks at the other thing, and that is a grave siren.
What's a grave siren?
Don't know. Nobody knows.
Grave siren just makes a mooing noise.
It sounds kind of like whale song.
It's interacting with my tricorder. It's like spoofing, messing with the readings.
Oh yeah, you'll never get any data out of that thing.
Let me try something. Goro walks over to and tries to get the grave siren's attention, and then starts waggling his limbs in imitation of Friend's dance language.
Presence command, and I'm going to spend 2 threat. All right, 1 success. The grave siren looks at you and just remains motionless as it looks at you.
There's a slight cough from behind the group.
Now we turn to face it.
What appears to be a priest with strangely black eyes is standing there, hand on the suited shoulder of Daniel. He states simply, "Does this exceptionally large offspring belong to either of you?" It has wandered away.
Rick sees sort of face palms, which is very difficult for a sword to do with, like a prominent snout, so it just sort of spreads across one side of his face. He is with our group, yes. Alright.
He had wandered into the archives. I believe that he requires supervision.
Daniel reaches up to and gently plucks the monk's hand off his shoulder and just says, "I'll have you know, I'm middle-aged for my species."
Of course. Of course.
Well, it seems to be a place of an archive of all sorts of things. This grave siren.
Moo!
The monk pays absolutely no attention to the grave siren whatsoever, acting more or less like it doesn't exist. And the monk simply turns and says, "Yes, we keep copies of the histories here. You must be newcomers. I am a witness."
Do you have anything on, well, how the various worlds interact? Like, do you need ships to go from one to the other, or do the portals take care of that?
You mean the 3 worlds of Trident?
Yes.
Allow me to explain. The only world that is accessible by most species is this world, Alpha. It is where all known Citic species reside. It is where civilization flourishes. It is possible to reach the planet Beta through the Gateway network, but I do not recommend this course of action. Beta is only marginally habitable, and has been used for some time as a dumping ground for feral and other problematic species. The 3rd world is Gamma. There is no travel to or from Gamma.
Moo! The grave siren is mooing commentary, it seems.
Alright, Garel, do you have any specific things you want to know?
Gro is too entranced with the grave siren and tries mooing at it.
I will have you do basically you're trying to get the universal translator to sort of pick up on something. So what I want you to do is to do an insight science roll. And I will say focuses would absolutely apply with Grawl. Moo! Moo! 2 successes. You're able to get that it's sort of been like repeating a few things like 3rd, 3. At reference to Gamma, the Moo had a couple of intonations. So basically a couple of ways the Moo could be taken. And it seems like the grave siren language is so complex that you may not be able to ever get a read because some of the meanings are can flip around so much, or a single aspect can represent multiple things in the underlying pattern behind the moo. But what you got was throne and sleeping.
I think they said something about a sleeping throne. Does that ring a bell with anyone here?
The witness just remains silent.
Ricky just sort of blinking silently.
Pim rubs his chin. Throne, huh? You know, I've heard that Gamma is where Trident is controlled from. I hear that's where the speaker is. But I don't know about the sleeping thing.
No.
Pim looks over at the grave siren, stoops down and says, very carefully and slowly, I am sorry, I don't speak moo.
Moo. I love that I made it a little bit sassy.
Yeah, everything has a personality.
You've got a sassy grave siren.
Righty then. I think that's all I need to know. We'll see if we can go from the others, see if they have any more questions for the witness here.
Hey, you still got those drawings?
Yes. And Rick pulls out one. So there was a group of us, and some of them have somehow vanished. These are the 2 that we are looking for. Do these sound familiar? Have you heard anything from any other witnesses?
Processing. These are known and wanted individuals. Currently, their location is unknown. If you are able to discover their location, please inform a witness.
Didn't expect that.
No.
Okay, I probably should, considering sentient potential for sentient artificial life forms here on Alpha, but well, at least we have something about them. Do you have any idea where they last were?
That information is not available. I am sorry.
All right, I guess we'll have something to talk about. I think I need to find Dr. O'Connor.
As you will. I shall return to my duties sorting the archives. Speaker Arun wishes you a wonderful day.
I have one question before you go. You said something about the archives. How far back does your history go?
The histories, the collected knowledge of Trident, goes back to nearly the beginning of the Trident system. However, the further back the information is accessed, the more fragmentary, cryptic, and conflicting said information becomes.
So how long has the Trident system been around recorded-wise?
Processing. You got a ballpark figure for me, Graves?
All right. So the witness would give the for what a witness would actually tell you. He would simply put the figure as uncounted eons. He does not give you a number.
All right, then what was the first species brought here?
Give me a moment. That information is located within the database. Meanwhile, the Grave Siren is apparently playing with Daniel.
Yes, Daniel has approached the Grave Siren, kind of crouched down in front and lifted his visor, and the Siren has responded by reaching out and slowly closing Daniel's visor, and then opening it again, then closing it again, and then he opens it one last time.
Visor goes up, visor goes down.
Daniel just kind of raises his hand and just kind of gives a little wave.
The Siren waves back.
Daniel smiles and stands back up, feeling understood for the first time in a while.
Excellent. Do you try to make friends with the Grave Siren?
Yes.
You just leave it there.
Daniel is trying to just, I don't know. Yeah.
You could work with Grawl to try to broadcast like words to the Siren.
Daniel pulls out his scanner and just kind of tries to tries to just wait, do we know if the Siren actually understands us?
Given the complexity, it's not of the organism and the complexity of the language, might not understand spoken communication yet. I'd be able to learn it. But you would potentially be able to communicate if you can broadcast simplified moves of what you've been able to pick up from the Universal Translator back.
I should also point out, at the very least, it responded to the words alpha, beta, and gamma.
It has somewhat followed the conversation, but as spoken by the witness. Because you're a Universal Translator, you don't know what language the witness is speaking, though.
Daniel tries to get the phrase "How are you?" Through to the Grave Siren using what we know already and his scanner.
All right, Grawl, do you help?
Yes, Grawl assists with using the spatial phenomena or observation and calibration kit helmet or Spock helmet.
All right, so the two of you, I need insight science rolls. Let's say focuses would apply.
Meanwhile, it seems like the witness has come up with his answer and says, I am sorry for the delay. Reaching information that far back was difficult. The first species to walk Trident was the Volsum Strider, a name given to the species by Speaker Donda. It is said they were the first to walk creation. May its footprints be lost in the joyous din of those who follow. And he produces an image for you.
What does the image look like?
I'm working on that.
Sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult. Here, I can...
By the way, I'm guessing space-time or antimatter doesn't apply to this situation.
I would say space-time does, trying to understand a Grave Siren.
Oh, cool. So I got 3 successes without the on my own, plus I guess the 4th success from Goral's help.
The image produced is thus.
Actually, I think I got.
Thank you. You're just a little faster than me on that.
Actually, did I get 4 successes?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so 5 successes total with the assistance.
The Grave Siren just kind of uncoils itself from the statue and sort of floats over and just kind of coils around Daniel.
Meow. Meow.
Daniel tries to translate the word friend? Question mark.
And you get a moo back, which also translates as friend, period.
Daniel smiles and just kind of stands there enjoying the company.
The Grave Siren, it definitely isn't applying any weight to Daniel. It is, in total length, it is bigger than him, but it is being quite gentle and just hanging with Daniel. It has decided to hang with this very interesting humanoid.
Meanwhile, the witness has been rattling off various information about the Volsum Striders. Unfortunately, after 10,588 cycles, Volsum Strider populations declined to 0.
Alright, thank you for that witness. We'll take our leave, I guess?
The witness nods. Have a glorious day. I shall remain if you have more queries.
No.
Daniel nods along in agreement.
Rick T just starts taking a few steps forward, turns back, looks like quizzically, weirdly, something's weird going on there, and then just sort of like, and starts moving forward. Well, should find Dr. O'Connor, should at least know that they're being looked for.
So, at this point, shall we cut back to the fishing docks? Seeing no opposition, the motion is granted. We cut back to the fishing docks, where Setsa is standing by as Chorog has sold, say 3/4 of the shellfish to a local vendor and kept the rest for himself. He has a large bag of currency. If Eli O'Connor has been following Setsa's path, he will eventually have been directed here.
Nah, Eli came running when he heard the explosion. He thought,
there was no explosion.
Oh, I thought there was.
No, she talked him out of using the photon grenade.
Okay, yeah, then. That shows how much I'm paying attention, wow. But yeah, Eli eventually makes his way there then.
Setsa is busy using her stick of scientific inquiry to poke one of the oysters.
It squirms a bit, but it doesn't seem very active. Once again, it seems out of it.
Yeah, looks like the venom did the trick. It really calmed them down.
People around Chorog have started to gather, seeing his success, and are chanting, "Kingfisher! Kingfisher!"
Well, not to brag, but I was quite the fisherman back home.
The local legend has begun.
Eli approaches.
You approach Chorog holding a bag of cash, another bag of shellfish, Setsa poking one of the shellfish on the ground, and a crowd of people chanting for Chorog.
Have to have all the fun without me, huh?
Well, I can't let you have all the fun.
Hey, Eli, want to take a turn?
Your voice thing went off.
Yeah, I noticed that. But Setsa calls.
Hey, Eli, you want to turn? I mean, it looks pretty straightforward.
Chorog hands Eli the fishing spear that he has.
And the venomized goop.
Be thankful Checkers isn't here. He'd be throwing dynamite in.
So basically what
Checkers,
you do is...
Chorog wanted to do that.
You take this fishing spear, you dip it in my altered bucket of goo, hover it over the water, and the fish just come to you.
That seems like an odd way to spear fish, but...
Yeah, and if you don't want to, you can watch as I do it. Like maybe get a few photos.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna
Eli.
spearfish the traditional way, I guess. Just throw it at the fish.
Daring security.
Alright, I gotta bring up the drive now because I forgot to do that. No, I remembered, but just accidentally exited it.
Look, I've got no room to say anything. I had to go look something up in the drive, and it turned out the file had moved, so it took me forever.
Yeah, I reorganized a few things.
It's not a problem. I just, if you'd told me, I probably would have been better prepared.
So daring security.
That's what we're using.
That'd be 11.
Well, I'm throwing it. Wouldn't that be, like, control?
No, it's daring security.
Damn.
Would trauma surgery come into play as a focus?
No. But if he had I'm a doctor, not a security officer, or something like that.
What of xenobiology?
I don't think so.
There we go.
Eli holds the spear above the water and then thrusts it down, and he misses what few fish there are the first time. But after the spear enters the water, fish start coming to the area where the spear was, and they just kind of sit there for a minute, enabling Eli to quickly spear another small fish right afterwards.
Got one.
Hey! Here, let me take a scan. I haven't seen that one yet.
That's a scans the fishy.
Data is recorded and sent back to the ship. This particular fish is small and oily, similar to Terran anchovies.
That's a tricorder makes a customized ding noise, or little jingle, as it's uploading a new species data. It's her little reward sound effect.
It's just Data singing the life form song.
I thought it would be da 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 da.
Yeah, something like that. Do-do-do-do.
Anyway, Eli has discovered that fishing with said goop is relatively easy, although he has not exactly surpassed Chorog's insane record.
Oh, Eli wasn't using the goop. He was just straight up spearfishing.
Oh, in that case, you actually just got lucky.
That's why I said he was going to throw the spear like you actually do with spearfishing.
Yeah, I figured you'd actually put some of the goop on the spear, so,
Nah. What's the point if you're going to throw the thing?
in that case, it takes you several tries, but you do get a small fish for your effort. So, not much has changed, just the fact that it happened slightly differently.
Cool. Yeah, you're gonna have another go, or can I try?
Here, you can give it a shot. So yeah, I've been trying to track you down. Chorog drank, floor cleaner.
Well, I would say that's unexpected, but I want to be more forthright, so that is not unexpected.
It did leave my mouth tasting minty fresh.
It was literally ammonia.
As they're talking, Setsa tries the goop and tries throwing the spear. Just kind of not trying to hit any of the fish, but just trying to get just more to test what the goop is doing.
I was going to say reason science. I don't know what you just rolled.
Okay, that was daring security. So for Setsa, let's do that as reason science then.
Because you're not actually aiming for the fish or anything.
Yeah, she is now testing. So, where did her? Yeah. I have the drive open, and I still took a minute to find it. Okay, science, reason. Okay, exactly what I thought. The successes.
Okay, Setsa goes over to a shallower area, just kind of plops the spear in there, point down. Several fish and other squid-like things and various life forms, including one of the strange oysters, scuttle up to the spear and just kind of start nibbling at it or licking at the goop on it. One fish, after looking at the goop, just kind of turns sideways and just floats up to the top of the water.
I think, Chorog, you've made fish catnip. We're very happy. There you go. There you go. Hey, over there. Hey, yeah, you. I'm moving the spear towards you so you can get a lick. Yeah, there you go. Got a share. Now you've had your fill, so I'm moving the spear over here. And yeah, now you've got your fill. Yeah, everyone's got their goops.
Fish catnip. I sense a very profitable venture here.
Maybe you should beam that back to the ship later when nobody's looking.
Setsa resists the urge to taste it.
That's probably wise.
While the throng of admiring locals are still chanting Kingfisher, Chorog secretly nudges the bucket behind him, picks it up with his other arm so people don't see it. Yes, I'm going to have to take with me.
Well, you already bought it, so really that's not a problem.
I can make a mint off this stuff.
Setsa looks over to Eli and says,
Well, yeah, I thought I'd look around and, see if I can find anyone to ask, about Graves and Kara and that whole situation, but, yeah, just kind of walking around a village and just asking, hey, do you know aliens that you've likely never encountered before is, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, very non-specific. guess.
Ah, there they are. Comes a familiar voice and another one behind it. Yeah, I told you, just find the line of people asking about the strange guy. You know, not that they're any stranger, I suppose, than the normal folks. Curtin and Pym come kind of walking up, presumably with the folks from the temple.
The grave siren is still wrapped around Daniel, although not impeding him. He's able to move freely and easily.
Basically, if Daniel needs to move an arm, it moves away from the arm. If he needs to bend down, it moves away from his waist, etc. But it stays with him.
Daniel?
So how goes it? He's dead, Jim.
Wait, sorry. Were you talking? Was
you
Eli
can
talking?
answer.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you can answer the how goes it.
Fine, I guess. Kind of got lost, but I made a new friend. And Daniel.
Yeah, I was about to say what you got there.
Mo.
Their name is that's their name.
Mo.
Okay, he's just pulling your leg. That's a grave siren.
That sounds ominous.
You think? I don't
Yeah,
know.
just general look about him. It's not like an omen of
having a
death, is it?
raven?
Daniel, that thing's creepy.
I
No.
think they're cute. Of course, they don't come around much. Usually even seeing one is a pretty rare thing. And I've never seen one that does... He looks over at Daniel. That.
Yeah, they're like noodle puppies.
Well, we found it over at the temple. Speaking of which, we probably should go over what we found there. They're
What'd you find?
They're looking for the captain and Kara.
Looking for?
Yes, there was in like sort of a criminal sort of way.
Oh.
Sets a face palm.
What did Graves do?
That's sort of the thing we don't know.
Burton just kind of looks back and forth and says, didn't Trident kind of start it by grabbing him?
Yeah, that's the thing. They probably just escaped from wherever they were held.
Well, this is good. But we need to find out more.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't really have any next direction there. They didn't really tell us where.
Hey, I already gave you that information the other day. Or was it today? No, wait, that was today. That was just earlier. So, as I was saying at the Traveler's house, at least I think I was saying, I drank a lot of liquor. What we probably should do is head to one of the larger settlements to ask around. Probably the best place for us to do that would be Haven. Now, if we wanted to go to Haven, we could wait for the gate near Sariat Run to change over to Haven, but that's about a week from now. On the other hand... Go ahead.
We could also just beam back up to the ship and beam down, just point us in the direction of where it is.
You remember that after you beamed down, there's been a lot of interference.
We were able to break through the first time, so...
In one direction. Anyway, Pym continues, yeah, well, if you've got a day or two to spare, we could go via Vorti and it'd be a lot quicker.
Possibly. I want to find out what these monks know, though.
Well, if you mean the witness, one back at the temple. He's not going anywhere.
They're very
They're
synthetic.
looking. Okay, they're looking for the captain. How do you know they're looking for the captain? What exactly did you do? Did you show them the pictures?
I showed them pictures, and basically there was got a report saying that they're basically wanted.
Actually, as I recall, the witness specifically said that they were being looked for. That is, slightly different.
I'd like to talk to this witness.
I tell you what, I'm getting my 10,000 steps today. Pym turns on his heel and starts walking back towards the temple. Burton just kind of laughs and follows.
Eli follows. If it makes you feel any better, we can get you like a little hoverboard.
Now that sounds like fun. After a small moment's walking, Sariat Run is a small town. The entire group now arrives back at the temple.
No.
Pym points over to one of the staircases. Said he'd be in the archive. I think it's down that way.
And we're just allowed to go down there?
If I said no, would it stop you?
Maybe a little, but not really, no. He says, starting to go down the stairs.
I was going to say, you're sounding like you're not any fun. Pim runs down the stairs, too.
Waterfalls.
Here's the some drawings that I've done, and passes those over to O'Connor.
Does DB try to go down the stairwell with the grave siren?
Daniel intentionally chooses to go down a different staircase than last time.
As soon as Daniel
Just kind of
steps through the threshold and into the staircase, an alarm dings, and he's pushed back out, and the door closes.
Mow. And the grave sirens kind of nudges Daniel, just not to go that way.
Okay, I guess Daniel shrugs and goes down the staircase that everyone else went down.
The grave siren is
He starts to go that way, and there's another ding, and the door closes in front of him. At that point, though, the grave siren just reaches out, and the door opens again.
Daniel says thank you to Moo and follows everyone down the stairs.
The Moo bonks his head a little bit, trying to contort his body to get into the stairwell, but it's just a little donk.
Down at the bottom, the first person to get noticed is Daniel. The witness simply looks over and says, "Oh, I thought I had gave instructions for the exceptionally large offspring not to be allowed entry."
Mow.
Once again, the witness takes no notice of the grave siren whatsoever.
Mow.
As Daniel looks back and forth between them, and then looks up and asks the grave siren, "Can they see you?"
The Moo is simply translated as unknown. But at this point, Eli is able to question the witness.
I would have words with you.
The witnesses are here to serve.
You were shown a picture recently, like, very recently, and you said the people on it were being looked for.
Yes, I recall. He
Why?
turns to Rick and points at the guy, or points at Rick and says, "I believe it was this life form who had the picture."
Why are they being looked for?
That information is not available.
Why?
That information is not available.
Why isn't the information available?
That information is not available.
On what grounds?
That information is not available.
I think you
Why
broke
isn't
him.
that information available?
That information is not available.
Why isn't that one available?
That information is not available.
And what would make it available?
Clearance access level 75 alpha required for that information. Such clearance is held mostly by Guardian units and subunits loyal and acting under the orders of Speaker Arun.
Who's Speaker Arun?
Speaker Arun controls Trident. She is the caretaker of the system.
That's a raises a hand.
Oh, awesome. Yes, that's a...
Here, let's try this track. Goodness, what do you know about my species?
Analyzing. Species unknown. New species detected. Query. Where is your point of origin?
Not in it far. But one of the individuals that's on the run is of my species. So you are disconnected from that information, correct?
Looks like there's some thought or communication or something going on in the background. And then simply, the witness says, "There are similarities between the life form being sought and your species. However, I have no record of your species."
Right, so you can treat this one as a data repository, but of fortunately limited access.
Pim looks over. Or it could be that, when he drops his voice conspiratorially and just says, when they were brought over, maybe they weren't officially entered into the system.
Yeah, but just seeing if there was anything of, what qualities they would notice that might give us some clue of why they took Carl. Just, by chance, or is it for something particular about the idiot?
The speaker, or the witness at this point, simply states, Speaker Arun makes all decisions regarding new species that come to Trident. You will have been chosen by Speaker Arun.
And were we all chosen in being brought here?
That information is not available.
There's a slight hitch to the witness's data stream.
The witness basically slowly blinks its black, featureless eyes.
When it recovers, the information is available. And here, I'll type it just because it was in the planning document. There we go.
Information retrieved. The last vessel to enter the Trident system was not brought on Speaker Arun's order. This is anomalous.
That would be us.
Speaker Arun is aware of your existence. However, no action is to be taken.
Tell Speaker Arun we want our people.
Information will be processed.
And I'm going to wait for a response. I don't care how long it takes.
Okay. Just name a number because no response is coming.
Yeah, the response is going to be from when they get Graves and Kara, most likely. That's when they would get a friendly reply back through a witness.
I'm going to guess, let me put it this way. Just name however many hours O'Connor's going to stand there before he gets bored and does something.
We would at the very least like to know why our people are soft.
That information is not available.
Make it available.
That is not possible.
It's possible, you're just being a dick about it.
Setsa raises a hand.
Not now.
The witness turns to Setsa.
Setsa's continuing to raise her hand.
Sir, do you want me to motivate him?
DM note. Yeah. DM note, do not try torturing a witness. It will go extremely badly.
I was about to say, the witness turns to Trog and simply says, violence against witnesses is a terrible crime.
And as a DM note, again, you're not going to get the motivation out of a witness, because, again, they are just a very well-programmed repository, and they're not going to be able to give you that kind of information yet. There's other kinds of constructs in Trident that you might be able to get that information from, though, that have a little bit more of, let's say, a humanoid personality.
Or just different information you could get from this guy, but...
I'm gonna be honest. Until this scene, I didn't realize this person was like a robot.
They're very artificial in their demeanor, somewhat fluid, but
okay.
Yeah, they're like when you're really questioning their information, probing around those limits. That's when you get those really robotic interface responses.
Okay. So they still look like organic. Okay, never mind.
They look fully organic, but it's the sort of the behavior that really cues you in after spending a little time with a witness.
Okay. Daniel did not clue into this his entire conversation from the earlier scene.
That's why you got a very form reply back, because, yeah, it was basically reading off a form response.
Pim just kind of looks over at Setsa. Why are you doing that?
I have a question, but Eli said not now, so I'm
Okay,
still
what's
waiting.
the question?
I know the information might not be available, but are there entities on Trident that may be able to override Arun?
There's almost an obvious hitch, and then after a moment, haltingly, the answer is yes.
Interesting. And I presume that no information can be given beyond that.
The 4.
Interesting.
And at that point, there's kind of another hitch, and the witness blinks and simply says, apologies, this unit was offline.
If you say so, yeah, you were offline.
Does any of what it just said sound familiar to Whately, with all the research into the database that he's done?
I mean, you definitely would... Yeah, Speaker Arun would definitely have raised, you're very familiar with who Speaker Arun may be, because the Speaker and the Caretaker are referenced a lot as sort of this sun god type figure.
The thing that is strange, though, is that in all references, the Caretaker is basically referred to as an omnipotent individual. The fact that there could be someone or something that could rival them or otherwise interfere is conflicting with the information you have.
Entirely, because Whately is operating under the assumption that either Arun or the Caretaker, or possibly both, are just very advanced automated computer systems. That is, I said this a while ago, but yeah, after everything Whately's read, he's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is one of those classic, 23rd century world is run by a computer situations. The 4, does that ring a bell of any kind?
No.
Okay.
Not as yet. Although it has given the group a lead to explore as they are further exploring Trident.
The curator moves. Could I get a reason science from Daniel?
Okay, I'm guessing I didn't end up sneaking away.
No, yeah, you're definitely not able to
Yeah, I was
wander
going to
the
say,
archives.
Grawl would have
Yeah,
stopped you.
The Grave Siren is also gently nudging Daniel. It is it is helping to keep Daniel in the straight and narrow.
Okay.
One success. You work for a minute, and you get a translation back of a single word that the Grave Siren has spoken. Curator.
And that was in response to asking about the 4?
It seems like.
It was a well-timed move. Although an alternative translation is also table.
Okay.
That could just be a quirk of the Grave Siren language.
Okay, I guess Daniel turns to the Grave Siren and asks, is the 4 table or I'm sorry, I forgot the word you used.
Curator.
Okay, is the 4 table or curator?
It gives the same response, but odds are it's probably curator.
Okay. I realize now I probably with this word or the exact same word. I realize now. My bad.
Yeah. It's a multifaceted, obscure language, but yeah, I'd take the straightforward response rather than the slightly comedic response.
Okay, my bad. I just I lacked critical thinking. Okay, in that case, instead I asked the siren, what does the 4 curate?
Whatever the response... I'll let Graves take it.
It doesn't reply.
That information is not available.
We're early into the adventure. We can't reveal everything yet.
Okay.
Are you going to tell the rest of the group what the siren said?
Daniel raises his hand.
Well, yes, the thing is... Go for it.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think people cut out for me. Who said what now?
You got an affirmative from Eli.
Okay. Daniel asks the witness, "What do the and asks the witness, so the 4 is a wait, ask the witness, is the 4 one or 4 things?"
The witness kind of stares at him. I do not understand your question.
The hint, and as a DM note, the hint was that it wasn't the witness who actually replied about the 4. Something else replied through the witness. The witness himself may not have information about the 4. That a direct question may not be the way to go here. And it seems like you also may have exhausted the possibilities for the witness in a direct questioning.
Or to at least go ahead and give you the last shot here, you also haven't used the one piece of new information you've gotten since then, the word you were given, and you haven't told the rest of the group that word.
Yeah, sorry, my brain's just glazing over, like, normal game stuff for some reason tonight. Okay, so I guess Daniel just kind of raises his hand and says, they said the 4 is a curator, either that or a table.
Who said that?
No. I think the Grave Siren must have said it. He's made a very strange friend.
Actually, the witness said it, and then I confirmed with my friend here.
The witness did not say caretaker. Moo said caretaker.
Curator.
Curator.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I'm
Moo Moo had a Moo reaction at the 4 and basically gave a slight bit of context as curator.
I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought that the witness mooed. I'm sorry.
The only one to moo here will be possibly John, and then the Grave Siren.
Okay. I think my brain's on right now. I just say yes. My friend told me. I'm sorry.
What's a curator? At the question that Pym just mutters rhetorically, the witness turns to him and says, Curator, backup system for Trident. No other information available.
Setsa raises a hand.
What? You don't have to raise your hand, just speak, please.
Okay, sorry. As a separate question, what is the current operational condition of Trident?
Trident is currently 63.9% operational. Various subsystems are currently offline.
How has this changed over the last 50,000 years?
Trident has slowly lost functionality over the past 50,000 years. The greatest such jump in loss of production and capability came approximately 300 cycles ago.
Right. Okay.
Were there any
around that
significant
time?
events? What?
Go for it, Rick.
Yeah, what happened around the time of this reduction in capability?
Searching. Information found. This occurred near the 100th anniversary of Speaker Arun becoming caretaker of Trident. Speaker Arun engaged in a number of new programs intended to breathe new life into Trident.
What were some of these programs?
You basically get a lot of techno babble, a lot of biological babble, and nothing useful.
What is the status of the speaker?
The Speaker is alive and well. The Speaker rules all.
Did anything else happen around that time? Maybe in relation to the speaker's changes?
There's a hitch. Yes. The witness blinks again. I am sorry. Please repeat your query. Connection was lost.
What else happened around that time in relation to the speaker's changes?
That information is not available.
Setsa looks to Eli.
Says, alright, I think I may have put a few things together. I'm not sure we should speak about it in front of a witness that has a direct line communication with the caretaker, though.
Well,
Maybe not, but if it has direct line of communication, they should know what we want, and...
Yeah, so if Graves and Kara are on the run, and they can't be found, that by, the entity that took them, that's probably good for them. If they were able to give, direct information like, hey, they're over here, that could be like a hostage situation that we're in. But they have the opportunity to find them before Arun does.
I just want to know why, at the very least. I know somebody's listening, he says, getting close to the speaker, sort of yelling in its ear, you're trying to say something, just be direct, you prick.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually going to get a response from the Speaker. Although I will admit I've never seen a witness do some of the stuff I've seen it do today.
Yeah, so the witness is just not going to respond to that. So yeah, it's basically a VI interface effectively. So that's
It says, if we go upstairs and have a conversation away from the witness, I might be able to suggest something.
Alright, yeah. We're getting nowhere with this thing, and, it's puppeteers pulling the fucking strings.
The group is free to return to the first floor.
Eli heads off, flipping off the speaker as he walks away, frustrated.
oh.
There is no
Or
response
the witness. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is no response from the Speaker. Or the witness.
So
too many titles!
There are.
I know. I sure there I was going to simplify things with the speaker and the caretaker as they're the same entity, but one's the speaker is the connotation differs in culture, so that's a complexity in the original Trident, but I haven't been stern on which is applied in which context. So anyway, caretaker overall title, speaker is sort of the formal title in culture that they're referred to. So anyway, Setsa's kind of leading the group and getting them outside and says,
Alright, so, there's a couple of big things there. Item 1, Arun did not bring Relient here.
I
Item
know,
2.
we kicked down the door.
No, we got pulled in at the last second.
Yes, because we did specific things to do that. We planned this.
Well, no, like, they grabbed us right before we kicked the door down. Like,
Still counts in my book. Just let me have this.
well, yeah. What I'm saying is that the four may have brought us here. Like, they may have, actually, pulled us at the last second.
Curtin just looks back and forth. I've never heard of a 4. Well, I mean, I know the number, but...
Yeah, so it's it's the...
I am totally blanking on... Not Curator?
Curator?
Yeah, I got mixed up by the titles. Curator.
I just put him in the chat a second ago.
Okay.
So the Curator may have brought us here, and I think the reason, overriding, is that Trident is failing.
Pim just kind of looks at her. Well, that does seem to kind of be the unfortunate truth of it.
Who knows? All it feels like is we're the pawn in somebody's game.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but, there's, two different big players here. Because Arun might be, trying to hold on and keep things going, but, this backup system might already be trying to replace her.
Maybe. What would Jason do?
I don't know, maybe kick some more doors down, but we haven't found too many more that we can kick down here.
There's always Vorty.
Yeah, Vorty, it sounds like a good bet, because I don't think there's too much more here we can do, but it's, I don't think other species get the special treatment that, Marcus and Kara did.
Special treat? The kidnapping, yes.
Yeah, the specific kidnapping, and, taken to a place where they're not, integrated into society. It's not like they're establishing a human population here, or an Ibby population.
I mean, there's already a human population, apparently.
Pim kind of looks thoughtful for a moment and says, actually, that's interesting. I had only ever heard about whole ships and settlements being brought in. Never just 2 people.
Yeah,
they stole right off our ship.
What if one of them is being intended to replace Arun?
What?
It would make sense. I mean, we saw the glitches in the witness. There's definitely at least 2 players here. If the Trident system, whatever is holding it here, whatever this thing is failing, then this entire system is, I mean, not only at risk and all the people here, but, well, I mean, what happens when there's just nothing directly controlling it?
Great, Curtin says. And all this while the harvesters are stirring up all the pharaohs and pirates and bandits.
Yeah, that could be a sign of, the dysfunction. Maybe, the speaker has her attention elsewhere, and, more pirates can run amok as a result. So, either that or, Grace and Kara brought in as, new allies. Hey, here's some outside viewpoints. How do we solve these problems? So, I think if we find Kara and Graves first, it would put us in a really good position to, shall we say, negotiate with Trident and, try to solve some big problems here.
Negotiate? No, because if they want to replace who they got, that would mean giving up one of them.
We keep ours. No, they're mine.
They're you.
I think
interesting choice of words there.
I think the point she's trying to make is you're not a pawn, you're a trump card. So let's get out there and start trumping.
Please don't say it like that. There's
unfortunate human historical reference.
I might also have a bit of a backup plan, but I'm going to keep that low-key for now.
Does it involve explosions?
Yes.
You stand in front then.
Oh, not right now. This is something that I gotta put into play back on the ship. He types away at a pad and sends orders up to the ship.
Alright, well, whenever, just make sure you're standing in front of me.
This is probably something for negotiation, so...
Trog perks up when he hears the word explosions.
Pim looks over him. No.
But I'm good at explosions.
You stand in front of me too, then.
So as it's getting towards 10 o'clock, I do want to, it's probably a good point to pause here. We didn't do our break, and before we get into the last scene, I do want to give people last minute opportunity. Hey, if you need to take 5 stretch, a drink.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Let's roll.
All right. So
You're still
Relient has
obsessed,
a
by the
plan.
way.
Oh, jeez.
Dang it.
Hey, it's kind of cute. It's just...
You see, I wasn't going to say anything.
Me neither.
Yeah, but I knew that he would just be more upset when he found out if one of us didn't say something.
All right. You know what? I think Vorty would be... Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was just typing away for something with Nick. So, yeah, basically now, let's go ahead and shift over to Vorty, where we have the
We have Kara
Captain-
and Graves, strangely.
Kara Graves, Bosho, and Ryuji, their new friends. So it is a new day. They have had some sleeps and had some breakfasts, and they're basically free to hop around and check out the town as it's sort of bustling around the normal activities of the settlement. So mining, forestry, what hunting and fishing can be done around this time of year, as well as residual mining activities. So for Ryuji, this means, just checking out, what he can while seeing to his new duties as hired mercenary for the group. Kara, you've basically got the problems of, maintaining yourself, but also trying to get information from, the locals about general localities in the area, and Graves is off doing Graves things.
Kara just kind of sits and kind of stares at the direction Graves had went off at. He's acting really weird. He looks over at Bosha. So, any ideas on how we could contact people we know?
Osho looks over and says, very good question. If, I knew them, I could maybe jump, but that hard. Really hard, so.
Yeah, and I don't want you to go jumping all over the place. We only had a radio or a communication device of some sort.
Vorty, not good for that, but maybe some traveling groups might have some stuff for that.
So your advice is that we should wait for someone to come along? I hate waiting.
Well, we can go looking around and, ask, but, yeah, maybe Shamsun. I think they come around here. Or, just the traders too, but, yeah, Shamsun, I think, more bad people.
Cool, so we wait for some of them to come into town and we shake them down. Grab the communications device. Sounds good. She smashes one metal fist into her palm. Now we have an idea.
Bosho looks over to Ryuji. Did I just suggest a mugging?
It's not mugging, it's something we need.
Okay.
Something, not stealing if need bread and starving. And Kara sets off to the other side of the Great Hall and, basically into the civilian government section and kind of looks around trying to get someone's attention.
You're able to get the attention of a human, elderly human in male in long robes. Yes, may I help you?
Hey, we hear people from Shamsun come by here occasionally. Do you know when they're next due?
Oh, I'm afraid there's a delegation on its way. The signal flare has been lit. It's a troubling time for Vorty.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that too much. She turns around and looks to Bosho and Ryuji. Now we just gotta find Graves.
I believe your human friend, he is outside, enjoying the refreshing qualities of the countryside.
He went out without a jacket again, didn't he?
Well, the hot springs are, very warm this time of year.
Did he have a drink with him?
I believe he had one early.
Well, let's bring him another.
Kara rolls her eyes and follows Ryuji back to the bar on the other side of the building.
Ryuji's already halfway there, and he's grabbing some wine.
You now have wine.
2 bottles of wine.
One for each of you?
It's very good.
Oh,
breakfast.
you're right. I should get one for him too.
Kara double face palms, moves her fingers back to rub her temples, and slowly draws in a breath through her teeth.
Bosho just does a little, like, the equivalent of a thumbs up in tardigrade, which is, it's like, full, like, 2 palms up. Yeah.
Ryuji gets a third bottle. Off we go to the springs.
And the group heads off.
So the hot springs are basically, there's a section of the inn built over the hot springs, and then a section of the spring sort of extends out. You see Graves in a pair of shorts, basically lounging in the spring itself. Snow is gently falling on him.
Kara looks over. Well, at least this time you're in a hot spring and not just wandering around without a jacket for no reason.
It's nice out. You're relaxing.
Don't get too relaxed. We're going to have to do some violence soon.
Alright, what is it?
Right, so we need some communication devices. Bosho figures that people from Shamsun might have some. Turns out there's some people from Shamsun coming to the village later.
Right, and bartering is out of the question, correct?
Well, I guess I didn't think of that.
And any wider implications in shaking down some of these guys from Shamsun?
I guess I didn't think of that.
Graves twitches slightly and sort of like smirks and says, "Alright, I'm in. Get to it."
There's a double thumbs up.
We might be able to hit him outside town on the road.
Yeah, possibly. Graves is thinking, kind of adopting a little bit more of a swagger and says, I mean, we could do that, but could cause some problems for Vorty. Like, we go, but it looks like the town shut them down. Like, they get into town, and then we come into town. That creates a narrative that we're outsiders. Like, we're sieging
an eyebrow at him.
So
you sound
it
like
looks
you know
like
something of the politics around here.
I mean, it just sounds like a little bit of common sense. Like I've been talking with folks. The roads are full of dangers, yes, but that's expected. I think, something a little bit daring, like, the Great Bosho has decided to raid Vorty, and oh, look, there's some Shamsun. Oh, let's seize them instead.
She looks over at Bosho. This is kind of hinging on you, that plan.
I don't want to cause trouble for Vorty. Like, we just mean nice. So if we have a plan that makes it look like not Vorty, I'd like that plan.
I have a plan.
What's your plan?
Ooh.
The road thing still, but Buddy here's on his way to raid somewhere else, and he sees them coming on his way. And he keeps them all alive, or at least one at the very least, and loudly declares his intention to go somewhere else to raid.
It'll also make it look like one of those, what are they called, feral attacks.
I sometimes call it feral. I think either plan will work. Like, I am Great Raider. Siege cities. Many times. And again, it's fun.
Kara cracks her neck. Well, whether they get into town first or not, we need to go shake down some guys and creatively acquire some equipment we require.
Graves nods and says, Alright, you know what? Let's do the out-of-town thing. I mean, we can still try to spin it, the narrative, and it does keep collateral damage to a minimum.
Works for me.
Graves sort of twitches again, and just sort of like, okay then, yeah, so that's a plan. Let me get pants first.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
you don't need pants.
drink some of that wine, see if it helps your twitch.
Righto. And he takes a drink from whatever is offered by Ryuji.
It is wine.
Graves takes a look at it and is like, alright. And he takes a swig. And
It's nothing like what we make back home, but
he continues taking a swig. It's like, alright. Okay, that hit the spot.
Right. Hot-headed violence. I'm proud of this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Right. Sounds good. Graves sort of reaches over and starts toweling himself off and then collecting his kit and says, alright, as far as equipment, I do have that plasma blaster, so that's going to be useful. We've got Ryuji and Bosho, and those can, they can probably handle everything on themselves. We just want to figure out which direction Shamsun is so we can, ambush the correct road.
Actually, Graves has some of that information considering the talk he had the other night where he learned about Shamsun and its interactions with Vorty.
Yes. So Graves is able to point the direction. Says, "All right. So should be that a ways. Yeah, we can linger off the main path and see what comes of it."
All right, let's go do a crime. And she kind of runs off through the snow.
Well, she's happy.
Not a crime if we don't get caught.
Bosho just kind of looks around and looks back at Graves. I like her.
the quartet continue into the woods, a little bit of a way. So they start picking up a little bit more of the sound of the mountain wildlife and just mountain scene. Occasional, just sort of clink of a distant cart or mine, and eventually they're able to find sort of a secluded sort of bend in the road with a little bit of a kind of a frozen waterfall area from a brook trickling by. So. A little bit of a hiding spot, a little bit of just, nice little area to sort of hunker down in.
Maybe we could set up traps.
Alright, what do we got for traps?
Could dig a pit in the middle of the road.
What do we got for shovels?
Graves points to Bosho. Bosho says, I go digger. It's his instinct.
Can I get an insight security from somebody present?
Sure, Ryuji shall.
Yeah, go for it.
I gotta bring up his sheet now, and I forgot where I left that. No, found it. I know where. And you said... Oh,
Inside security, I think.
fuck, it's gone.
Insight security.
Right, there it is. Insight security. Alright. Oh, yes, I made insight his weakest.
That's usually how it goes.
A real man's gotta be a little stupid sometimes. And I think that might also be a crit, so that might be 3 successes.
Depending.
I don't know, do you think strategy and tactics would...
No, not in this case.
Composure?
No.
Oh.
From a distance, Ryuji starts to hear the sound of an internal combustion engine. A vehicle approaches.
His ears atop his head perk up. They're coming.
Kara's ear also flicks. Yeah, sounds like they might have a vehicle, too. Think we should steal that?
Graves says, and then twitches. Yeah, sounds fun.
Is the hole deep enough?
Let's see. He looks over at Bosho. Bosho has already made a hole twice as deep as he is tall, and says, "Okay, I'm going to make some handholds here so they can actually get out, but not quickly. So there be survivors, and they just go over to Wardy, and everything be good.
Just
and
leave him a rope.
Okay, I don't have rope.
I do.
Let me also, I'll carve a little bit of a secret tunnel." So he is busily constructing a sort of like a faux wall, and then is tunneling away. But he'll be ready by the time the vehicle
We
arrives.
might need you to ram this into the hole.
At this point, the whole group can hear the engine approaching.
Graves goes and hides in some bushes with his plasma rifle or plasma carbine.
Kara just goes over to one of the trees and just kind of leans against it and puts her head down, looking like she's not concerned about anything. Ryuji
goes to a tree and takes the bow off his back.
2 hidden, 1 just playing it cool.
Bosho then sort of scampers as he's finished his elaborate escapable hole. And he comes over and is just standing in the middle of the road.
2 hiding, 1 playing it cool, 1 living roadblock. After a few moments, a large 4-wheeled Jeep-like vehicle painted dark blue with a red sun on the hood kind of drives up, and it keeps driving towards Bosho and driving towards him, driving towards him, driving towards him, and it stops just short of him.
As a note for the other players here, if anyone wants to play a hapless security officer...
The captain, stands up and looks down and yells, "Get out of the road! This is a Shamsun military vehicle! We have tribute to collect!"
Bosho calls back, "I am Bosho, Sieger of Smashed Rock, Smasher of Rock."
There's a moment. The captain looks down and starts asking, "Do I recognize that? I don't recognize that." There's some hushed conversations.
Bosho calls out, "I demand that you are going to give us tribute. Specifically, communication devices. Also your car. You think it's cool."
At this point, detecting a threat, the 2 guards in the front both hop out and pull what appear to be crudely manufactured submachine guns out and point them at Bosho.
Osho calls, okay, then initiate. And then he just headbutts the closest guard.
Okay, everybody who's going ahead and attacking, just give me a security daring or control, depending on your choice.
Graves is going to be using the stun setting on his plasma weapon, and then he's just going to be taking a shot at the other or he's going to take a shot at the captain.
Oh, Ryuji was going to aim at the captain.
They can both aim at the captain.
You stun him, Ryuji hits him with an arrow. Alright, yeah, Ryuji is, using his bow to start.
Alright, bringing up Graves' sheet if it loads up. Oh. The sheet is appearing very blank right now.
Well, meanwhile, Kara has closed the distance to the guard that Bosho has not headbutted, and has simply grabbed him and turned him around. Before she can react, he pulls the trigger on the submachine gun, basically just spraying her with bullets. Sparks and a few patches of blood appear on her, clothing, and she just picks him up and tosses him bodily into the pit. Ow. It hurt.
I think mine is a
crit. Yeah, I got crit as well. So
2 crits on the captain.
The captain is stunned very badly and severely incapacitated by an arrow.
Yeah, basically the captain turns to see Graves and says, "Who are you?" Blah? And he starts to slump over the top of the Jeep. And that's when Ryuji's arrow hits him, and Ryuji can determine how fatal or not that's going to be.
Yes.
The arrow at this point goes through the captain's temple and through his head. It would look comical if it was not for the fact that he is quite obviously dead.
I was aiming for the throat. Sorry.
Right.
One of the guards moves to attack Bosho and gets a single success and a complication. Another guard moves to attack Bosho and gets a single success.
Bosho will counter with 3 successes.
Bosho just dodges as the one guard runs at him and the guard dives into the pit. The other guard hoses Bosho down with his submachine gun to absolutely no effect.
Bosho picks him up and just drops him into the pit.
Kara, just kind of looks over and puts a hand across her chest. Okay, so that hurt a little bit, but that takes care of them. She looks up at the captain slumped over the Jeep. I think we'll have to remove him.
He sounded like
Graves.
a prick, it's fine.
Yeah. So, Bosho, give the others a pep talk and a little bit of a tutorial on how to escape the pit. Kara, see to the vehicle, and I will see to a communications device.
Kara goes into the vehicle, finds some more, grabs the captain's weaponry, grabs basically a sort of old, laser or energy rifle from the captain's back that he never had the chance to even attempt to use.
Bosho is just over at the guards.
She also takes his coat since she's had the crap shot out of her torso. And now would probably like new coat.
Bosho is over at the security officer saying, "Okay, so your boss guy, he is dead, but this is unfortunate. You though, you will live, no harm. So there's a secret puzzle way for how to get out of there. I mean, you check the rocks over there, but then there's also this rope and those handholds. So you'll be able to get out of here in a few minutes, but we'll be long gone. So I suggest you go up the road to Forty and say, hey, we won't be as mean."
The guards just kind of nod and just kind of mutter because at this point they've already seen their weapons don't work on Bosho and they don't know what else to do.
So yeah, I would just say, hey, maybe you want to move to Forty, be nice, and add to their collective. It's a good life. So good life, live good life, have fun. That is the Bosho way.
Kara has finished grabbing the captain's coat and his weaponry and looks over at Graves and says, "Right, so we've got ourselves a Jeep. Is there a radio or anything in it?"
Graves is looking through and says, I think so. I think I've got a communications device. It'll take a little bit to work at. But, yeah, we can basically get on the road and, just kind of keep going.
Kara nods. I guess that's it for Vorty then, huh?
Yep, I guess that's it. And they start proceeding down the road with Kara at the helm of the vehicle. And I think that's a good place to stop.
Actually, one real quick thing. Kara points up ahead and says, I see a big arch rising out of the landscape there. Let's go towards that.
That's also where I wanted to point them to. So, yeah, they basically say, Graves says, all right, yeah, seems like a good place as any.
Ryuji tosses down a bottle of wine to the survivors.
Kara looks over. Oh, that was nice of you.
It's too bitter.
Okay, that was ashhole-ish of you. But hey, it's the thought that counts.
Bocho sees the gesture, misinterprets it, and also tosses them down a blanket from the stores on the vehicle and some money.
Kara just confusedly watches him and says, yeah, we got what we wanted. Reddit.
Bocho happily scuttles aboard the vehicle, and they're able to proceed to the gate. And that is where we'll leave off for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining up. And next episode, we may have a reunion between the two parties.
Or they may have just missed each other.
I'm just calculating this internally. It's like, wait a minute, how's this going to work out?
I hope it's the second.
They could totally do that. But if we do that, I do want to, if there's an extended second group here, I do want to bring some other NPCs in there. So, rest of the people here, definitely feel free when we get into those situations to take over for some NPCs if you want to jump in with groups. Because even after we reunite, we may shuffle around and split off in different ways throughout the remaining adventure. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, though, for those listening to us tonight, yeah, definitely feel free to drop us a line at our email, reliant@starbasegc.com. Check us out we're now on YouTube for podcast format in a couple of different ways. And yeah, we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful couple of weeks here. And with that, say bye-bye.
Yeah, something's wrong with Graves. Kara suggested violence for no reason, and he said yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.